The only way to make nitro great again is to get more nitros. Let's roll. We got the Nitro gang out here. Nitro World Order. Nitro World Order. What's up, Nitro gang? Today, I will be helping to make Nitro great again by buying another used Nitro. I'm in my Toyota Prius right now. I don't have much time. I have to go over there, make the deal, make it happen. It was a very good offer, and I made sure that I spared no time in going to get this RC. But before I go, let me just say it's about 50 miles each way, therefore about 100 miles total. And today is like a 93-degree day. I am going to be using the air conditioner in my 2008 Toyota Prius. And guys, for those of you that don't like the Prius, let me just tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to be buying another Nitro with all of the money that I've saved over the years of driving the Toyota Prius. And I hope that I will be getting over 55 miles a gallon by the time I am home. Now, let's talk a little bit about the car before I go. I don't have a lot of time to kind of get prepped and give you the full details. It's an HPI Savage X4.6. That's what matters. I took a look at some of the pictures. They seem fairly normal. It looks like it is in completely stock condition. The body has a couple scuffs on it. That's what I call a nice basher body. I do have a brand new Savage X4.6 that I still have to break in, but since HPI recently had an enormous price hike, I don't even know if I want to put any fuel in that, so I'm gonna do my best to get this used one. The seller was asking $165. There were some pretty good pictures. It says it comes with a remote and the starter, not much else. In my opinion, it really doesn't matter as long as it's complete. That's the most important key element. You don't want to be shopping for parts on one of these RCs. $165, very fair price. I was gonna commit to buying that, but then, you know, of course it's offer up. It's in your best interest to submit an offer, so I put out $125. The seller came back at $150, and I think, you know, why not? $150, let's do it. I told him I'll see you soon, and now I'm on my way to go get the Savage. I'm probably not going to record most of this video because it is really hot, and I gotta start driving. It's pretty far away. The next time you guys see me, we're going to be looking at the HPI Savage 4.6, baby. The only way to make Nitro great again is to get more Nitros. Let's roll. Well, guys, like I said, the next time you see me, I'll be with the Savage X4.6. It's right here. So I figured, why not do a, you know, kind of as-is condition overview on this right now so you guys understand what buying a used Nitro with almost no information is like. I'll go over some of the, I guess you could call them Nitro Inspections, something everybody should do when you're looking to buy a used Nitro. Now this one, the only thing I did so far is because I kind of have a little bit of an OCD. I washed the body under the sink, but the body is in relatively good condition. Put some WD-40 on it. That's why it's so nice and shiny. All right, let's continue to the rest of everything I got here. We'll move the camera around. You're looking at everything that I got with the car. Some of these things were not pictured, like these original HPI Savage 21 wheels. They are, you know, they're usable. They're a little dry rotted, but these are probably 20-something-year-old tires. You can tell right here on top. If you clean them up, maybe glue it a little bit more, you could still get some life out of them. But personally, it's all about the Savage X4.6 tires. These are actually very, very good. The body is normal, as I said. Once you wash it, you know, put some WD-40 on it. There's only minimal cracking here in the back because clearly it took some tumbles, so to say. I'll remove the body and we'll look at the chassis in a little bit. Let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. This is the original HPI TF40 2.4 gigahertz radio. Very, very good radio. Honestly, I kind of like them. They run on 4 AA's. We'll check out whether the thing has a matching receiver or not, because a lot of times you get tricked like that. We have the Savage X4.6 manual. We have the Roto Start. The battery I don't care about. I use my own batteries. The only downside is the metal starting rod is not included, but I have so many of these over like the time frame that I've bought used RCs, I really don't care. What matters is I have the rotor start itself. We have a spare spur gear, 49 tooth, so we'll examine the spur gear inside. Wheels, we covered that, and here we just have a couple random chargers, blah blah, it doesn't really matter. I usually use my own electronics anyway. Interesting thing here, we have a Red Cat glow igniter. So I hope the rest of this chassis doesn't have any Red Cat parts. But only one way to find out, right? Let's remove the body and take a look at the chassis itself. That's where the HPI Savage magic happens, so to say. Okay, here we go. So the top of the coolant head has a little bit of scratching. I saw this in the pictures. I'm not concerned. I don't care. It is fairly dirty, but that's, you know, it's a monster truck. What do you expect? Suspension-wise, let's check it out. Okay, suspension is ideal. In fact, this is exactly what it would be like on a brand new one in terms of dampening. I don't notice anything weird, no noises. Let's check out the front shocks. The front are also fairly good as well. I will say that even the brand new Savage, when I did this to the new one that I have, I thought it was very over dampened. Right away, I can tell there's an uneven amount of shock spacers. That's no big deal. Nitro Gang will take care of that. So far, this thing looks complete. I'm very happy that the spur gear is not stripped. Usually when you see a spare spur gear, that's because it's stripped. So I'm going to turn it, and we'll see if there's any power going to the wheels. So yeah, the diffs are not busted. I can tell that the car is moving forward as I spin the spur gear. I will check the diffs in a little bit. Give me a couple seconds here. Now the air filter. It may look great on the outside, but usually once you remove this outer layer, you could tell that the foam is almost deteriorated. Yeah, so I could see right here. You guys see that? I could rip right through the air filter. So the foam on the inside is deteriorated. This is not something you should run. You guys see that? I could just rip the filter apart. So this just happens with age. No big deal. I will, you know, run my own air filter on this. I don't really care about that. The main body of the air filter is still usable, but sometimes it just doesn't make sense to buy the filter elements. Just get yourself a nice Traxxas air filter and you'll be good. Let's take a look at the other side. Okay. Fuel tank is in normal condition. Linkages are here. I could tell nothing looks to be missing here at all. I can hear the servo moving. Of course, I will have to test out the electronics when this thing is turned on. This does have the 2-speed. I will check it later. Let's do this. How about I remove the radio box cover here and we'll take a look at the electronics. I kind of have a feeling there's going to be a surprise because I saw some Red Cat parts that came along with this. So let's see what we got here. Okay, well, this is interesting. It looks like we have ourselves a Red Cat receiver. So there's no way that this radio will ever work with a Red Cat receiver. We do have, you know, a basic 4AA battery holder. This is pretty good. I like these. We have the original HPI Servo. This is the SF10W. Very acceptable for a throttle and brake servo. On the bottom we have, it should have rather, I haven't checked it myself, but yeah, it does have the SF20W, which is their newer servo. It's pretty good in terms of torque. This is the same servo that comes with the new Nitro bullets. The disc brakes are in okay condition. The bottom of the chassis has very minimal scuffing on the skid plates, only a little bit here on top. The rear end looks okay. So yeah, it looks like it was just run kind of maybe in a little bit of grass. There's like some elements of grass here in the axles. The wheels, man, very important that the wheels are not torn. And these seem to be fairly good because you don't want to get stuck buying a new set of Savage wheels. These could get fairly expensive. You just don't want that to happen. But all in all, I gotta say this thing is complete. Next thing to check are the diffs. Very important. All you do, put the car on the ground, take either the front or rear wheels in your hands and spin them like this. So as I spin them, I'm also spinning it with my right hand here. You could tell that the front wheels are also turning. Same thing with, you know, going backwards. You want to make sure that you don't have any kind of diff slippage. Now, of course, this is not getting its full power that it would from the motor, but this is a solid way to see, you know, if all of your drivetrain is connected correctly. Now, sometimes If you have no wheel movement, that's a problem, something you have to diagnose. It could be as simple as just a wheel pin missing. It could be a stripped gear somewhere, but all you know is in this one, if you do this, and this goes without saying, this is only for solid four-wheel drive systems, not something with a center diff. If you do this with a center diff, it will never, you know, put power to the front or the back, and you will never be able to check the diffs unless you're getting power from the motor, which in that case is a totally different ball game. So next thing in terms of engine health, you want to check whether you have compression. So here's my finger. Since this does not have a pull start, I'll just have to be able to spin the flywheel over like this. And I can spin the flywheel over. That means nothing is you know, seized inside. If you keep spinning it, you should have a good amount of resistance. So at this point, I cannot easily spin it over. Actually, it's very difficult. Actually, that's a lot of compression. Okay, so it did do a full spin, but it's very difficult. Let me try to do it again. I'm making a whole bunch of faces right now, if you guys could only see it. But this motor has very, very good compression. I do not recommend starting it, even though you might have confirmed that it does have compression, because you could also have a lot of old fuel, you could have a clogged carburetor. In this particular case, we need a brand new air filter. So once again, if you try to start this, the motor could try to inhale a lot of that decomposed filter element. You don't want that to happen. So this is good news so far. Every single check that I've done leads to a good positive result. The only negative is we do not have the original receiver. But once again, I usually run my own electronics, so I'm not really worried. I probably will be getting a Fly Sky receiver, putting this in here, and then we could yell 2-speed baby. Alright guys, that's it. We got the brand new HPI Savage. Oh, I mixed them up. This is the brand new one, and this is the used one. I'm not even really sure whether I'll be doing a break-in on the new one here, because prices on these have skyrocketed recently. And you know what? There's nothing like having a nice cheap basher. That's why I wanted another HPI Savage. I will be doing a video, probably doing a motor inspection on this one, because you never know what you're going to find. And eventually, we will be yelling 2-speed baby with this one. And maybe, you know, if my channel takes off, I will do the same with this one. You know, keep in mind, my only sponsor is my day job. You don't see a bunch of cheap electric crawlers on this channel. You only see investment grade nitro. But of course, driving a Prius and saving on fuel economy only takes you so far. I really appreciate the Patreon supporters that I have. Because of you guys, I actually paid for this brand new Savage X 4.6. That was with the Patreon money. Now currently, I will be saving up for another new nitro. And I will be releasing a poll on which one you guys want me to get. But the Patreon supporters, I'm going to listen to what you tell me to do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.
So fine, but her breath is like, whoa. She says she wanna dance, but she don't know how to. Her name is Jenny, ooh, bitch don't have no panties, woo. I'm Steph.